In a nutshell, we have 46 country offices in sub-Saharan Africa. We work on poverty eradication and achieving the MDGs. We work on recovery from and prevention from crisis. A number of countries on the continent have known profound crisis, either from conflict and are recovering from it, or from these very, very extreme climatic and other events. So we are specialists in early recovery and trying to get things going again after very, very bad times. We also work on environment and energy issues, and that's so important now with the climate change issues. Ethiopia, with its climate resilient green economy strategy, really stands out as an example of the kind of things that countries can do. The poorest countries can have growth strategies which are green and inclusive. And then we also work on governance. We're quite a unique agency in the multilateral system in having a mandate to work on improving the quality of governance. Can governance strategize, plan and deliver on their plans? Building integrity in government, fighting against corruption, supporting the range of institutions from parliaments to ombudsmen's offices to human rights commissions, supporting the growth of civil society, the media. So we are a broad development agency and we're active across many fronts.
Africa also hosts many countries in conflict at the moment. Are there any special ways that the UNDP in particular deal with, for instance, the DRC, Somalia, the Sudans, countries that have real internal problems on the political front?
Definitely. And countries, when they come out of the most profound conflict, need support. And often it's just to get the economy going again, to get the local markets operating, people doing things again. So livelihoods, creating livelihoods as people come out. For example, with the profound drought in Somalia 2 years ago, which led to famine, we were in there with early recovery, cash for work schemes. So raising the money from donors to pay people to do basic infrastructural work which would make communities more resilient for the next time drought comes. There'll always be drought some years in Somalia, but communities can be more resilient to it if the basic irrigation infrastructure, the well, reservoirs are there. So we try to put in place the building blocks for something better even when there's been profound crisis.
There are so many UN agencies and sometimes many NGOs or international agencies that want to do good in countries, but they face problems because of the politics. Has the UNDP, because of the nature of its work, always been welcomed and had easy access into trouble areas, so to speak?
Definitely, because the UNDP is a UN member organisation, the members feel ownership of us, and we have a high level of trust in us from governments across the continent. We are seen as politically neutral. We're not values neutral because we uphold the values of the UN and its charter and conventions, but we are able to work in any context, and we work in a very wide range of contexts on the African continent and around the world.
Let me ask you about women. During this just held African Union Summit, women in various fields, agriculture, politics and these things were also discussed. Women as breadwinners, women farmers, I believe that you have quite a soft spot for that. Can you give me a glimpse from your side on this sector of society?
Well, last year I went to Nairobi for the launch of the African Human Development Report on food security. And one of the key points it made was that the women farmers in Africa are held back because of lack of equal status and rights. In a number of countries, women don't have the same right to inherit as men do, or to hold a property title or a rental title, or to get credit from a bank, or even open a bank account without the husband's permission. And so because they don't have access to all those things, they don't then get access to the best seeds, to the best fertilizers, and often not the same to the agricultural advisory services. Now, women constitute the majority of Africa's farmers. So if the farmers can be made more productive, then that's going to be good for food security, it's going to be good for food production overall. So we see empowering women not only as an important thing in its own right, because women should be equal, they should enjoy equal status, but also because it's good for countries, it's good for economies, it's good for societies if the women are empowered.
Finally, you've been here in Ethiopia now also opening a regional office at the time when the African Union, the OAU, celebrated 50 years of being on this continent. A message from you as the UNDP chief at this time on the continent's history.
I think it's an exciting time for Africa. Everybody knows that Africa's growth rates are among the highest in the world. The challenge is to turn the high growth into poverty reduction and human development. I think Ethiopia is quite a good example of a country which has done that. Ghana is another. Reasonably high rates of growth, but also you see the poverty coming down, the children in school, and progress on a lot of the Millennium Development Goals. But we don't always see from high growth rates those things happening. So inclusive growth is something that's very important to us, and inclusive and green growth, because we want the growth to be sustainable environmentally.